Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, respected ulama, huffaz and youth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Kayfa halukum? Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, today, the 15th of May, is commemorated in Palestine and globally as the day of Nakba, which translates to the day of the catastrophe. Because today is used as an annual reminder to the world, not only the Muslim Ummah, but to the world of what occurred in Palestine. You would have seen on social media today and on news channels the coverage of commemoration of Nakba happening across the world. Today, sadly, marks, my dear brothers and sisters, 74 years of difficulty faced by our Palestinian brothers and sisters in Islam. 74 years. That's almost double, my age. Many people were born while that conflict occurred and have passed away already, and Masjidut Taqwa is still not yet liberated. So my dear brothers and sisters, we use this moment today briefly in this Naseehah session as a reminder to me and to you and to every Muslim of the need to be connected to our brothers and sisters in Palestine. They use this day to commemorate what has occurred. If you reflect on the stats, my dear brothers and sisters, sometimes when the problem is not on our doorstep, we don't worry about it. If water is off in Westering but not in Galvin Park, we're okay. It's not going to harm us that much. But when it comes to the nature of a Muslim, we must be deeply connected to the difficulties and sufferings of others. And Palestine more so. Because in Palestine, in the last 70 years, the forces and enemies have destroyed more than 600 towns and villages. With the Nakba, just under 1 million Palestinians were removed from their homes. Today, our current status, we have 6 million Palestinian refugees. So my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Palestine must be dear to the heart of every Muslim. Every Muslim. Because in Ramadan, we saw how the forces and the enemies attacked Masjidul Aqsa. And it's been a trend for the last Ramadans. We saw how our brothers and sisters were being attacked. We saw in headlines how medical experts have been killed, how journalists have been killed. In the last week, recently making headlines in the Muslim world, was the killing of the Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh. And what prompted anger additionally from the Muslim Ummah was the forces and enemies harming the mourners at the funeral proceedings of Shireen. So this antagonizes and angers Muslims. But as a Muslim in South Africa, we must understand that of any country in the world, we should connect and resonate more so with Palestinians. Because they are the only other country that really receives the description of facing apartheid regimes. A term that was born here in South Africa because of oppression and difficulty and people being removed from their homes. I know that in this masjid and of those watching and listening, there are still individuals in our community that can recall forceful removal. For me, I can't resonate to the emotion because I wasn't born yet. But there are still individuals who can talk about that pain and difficulty. And while South Africa has been liberated to a certain extent, Palestinians continue to face this. So my message to our Palestinian brothers and sisters in Islam, particularly our Palestinian brothers and sisters who have chosen PE as their new home. In the last few years, Palestinians have been moving to our city, coming to our masajid. Our message to them and to all Palestinians is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must continue to give you strength to continue this battle. As Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu isbiru wa sabiru wa rabitu. Allah says, O people of Iman, be patient and endure your difficulties and stand together firmly. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. And fear Allah, and Allah will grant you success. But Allah gives 3 steps in this ayah to everyone, but my message is dedicated to the Palestinians. Isbiru wa sabiru wa rabitu. Isbiru, have the sabr, be patient. Wasabiru, and be enduring of the difficulty, as Allah decrees for all. Warabitu, and stand firmly together against the oppression. So my dear brothers and sisters, for those of us here in PE in South Africa, what can we do? This is always a question, what can we do? There are 4 points, inshallah. The first, and I know that the younger generation, mashallah, is really taking this up quite well. Learn about the difficulties experienced there. Because if you check, even if you check social media today, an amazing amount of censorship and removal of posts occurred today. I can mention to you that I once delivered a speech or a Naseehah at a masjid, and I made a statement, and then I immediately got a warning from Facebook for infringement, and they removed the video from Facebook because I made a claim. And they warned me, if this continues, you will be removed from the platform. And I can tell you many of my colleagues, my Shaykh, have faced exactly the same. So the message mustn't go out. That is what social media wants. But for this generation, particularly those connected to social media, learn about the challenges, understand and spread awareness. Secondly, my dear brothers and sisters, be aware of those products and services that support the enemies. Investigate, be clear, and sacrifice with your niyyah to assist those. Thirdly, support the organizations that are traveling and assisting and conveying, assistance over there. And lastly, but probably most importantly, keep the Palestinians in your dua. Keep the Palestinians in the dua. Why? Because we are not on the front line. We are comfortably here in Masjidut Taqwa. We are not on the front line. But our Palestinian brothers and sisters are on the front line protecting Masjidul Aqsa, the third haram to the ummah, not only to them, but to all Muslims. So our effort should be dua that Allah strengthens them, that Allah grants them all that they need to persevere. And so I use a dua from the Quran, my dear brothers and sisters, in which we ask, Allahumma afriq alayhim sabra, wa thabbit aqdamahum, wansurhum ala al-qawmi al-kafirin. Oh Allah, we ask you to place sabr in their hearts. Let them be firm in their resistance and assist them against the disbelieving forces. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, please keep Palestine continuously in your dua. May Allah protect Masjidul Aqsa. May it remain in this ummah for decades to come. Wa sallallahu wa sallam alayhi wa alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.